Palantir is under attack. Palantir is fighting on both flanks and all around. Palantir is being attacked by an absolute imbecile called Jim Cramer. I guess this is a very good thing because every time Jim Cramer likes a company, that company goes down. And every time Jim Cramer shits on a company, the company's price goes up. Jim Cramer is the only bigger flip flopper than Meet Kevin. Jim Cramer is a bipolar number one clickbaiter I've ever seen. If Jim Cramer was a YouTuber, he would have worse thumbnails than myself. This guy, all he cares about is likes, clickbait, thumbs up, so on and so forth. He's a master marketer, but not a master investor, in my personal opinion. Palantir announces an expansion of their deal with Microsoft. They achieved FedRAMP approval for Impact Level 4 and Impact Level 5 with Microsoft, and they're expanding their partnership to the private sector. So not only public for military, but also companies that need to use this software working in coordination with the United States military. Pre-market, Palantir is up 5%. Then Jim Cramer goes on Squawk Box before the market opens, and Jim Cramer is speaking to Andrew Sorkin. And they're talking and back and forth, and Jim Cramer comes on and calls Palantir not a real company. He says Palantir is a memester company, and he's tired of these fake companies. I kid you not, he literally called Palantir a fake company. The company that has the highest clearance within the United States military. One of only 3 companies that has level 6 clearance with the Department of Defense. The company that is literally the reason why Ukraine is standing. The company that's protecting not only the United States border through their amazing software, and this is not my opinion, this is a fact. They're literally working with the highest level of all the 3-letter agencies and the highest levels of military within our borders and our allies. It is freaking ridiculous to say Palantir is not a real company. For God's sake, they can find a piece of debris this size in outer space. Name me another company that can do that. And if you can, Palantir is one of only a handful of companies that can do that. To call them not a real company, come on, man. Something is definitely wrong with your Abdullah Mandagala because you straight up insane in the membrane. And while I'm here, I want to say happy holidays to all of my Muslim brothers, all of my Christian brothers, and all of my Jewish brothers. Happy Passover, happy Ramadan, happy Easter. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm going to play you a clip right now where one of the early investors from 2014 of Palantir actually claps back at Jim Cramer, and he's being interviewed by Alex Sorkin. He talks about all the great points about Palantir and says that it's absolutely absurd to call Palantir not a real company. I think that this gentleman didn't do a good job. We're going to watch it together right now. And remember to give me a comment down below. I think he could have done a much better job, but I do want to hear your opinion. And after that, I'm going to play you a bonus Clown on Jim Cramer clip by Palantir Vision. It's going to be absolutely epic. Let's go watch this clip.
Is Roger Montefort. He's Fort Capital Group's CEO. Good morning to you. I'm so
Andrew.
Curious what you think of this company. I know you were an early investor. You're not one now, but somebody who understands and has studied the company. We had a conversation with Jim Cramer about this company yesterday. I respect Jim a lot, but we're probably on other sides of this. He thinks this is not a long-term great company. I look at it and think about all the things that they've done, frankly, to help protect the U.S. from terrorism and clearly where it's gone in terms of the corporate space. I'm curious where you land and how you think about both the value of the overall company in terms of what it does, but then as a stock as well.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. I'll say this. I mean, first, I'd like to at least just run through some of the numbers because, again, I'm with you. I respect Jim. I like him a lot. But I think some of the comments that he made were actually irresponsible when you really look at it. they did 1.9 billion in revenue last year. They guided to over 2.2 billion in revenue this year. They become GAAP profitable last quarter. They're going to be GAAP profitable for the full year of 23. They have free cash flow of over $550 million over the last 8 quarters. And you're looking at $2.6 billion in cash in the bank. So to classify this company as not being real, I think is ludicrous. I mean, they're every bit real. And if you ask the U.S. Army or ask the Ukraine or ask, the folks at the CDC or, different governments from around the world, if Palantir is real, I think they'll unequivocally say that they are real. So, I think it's...
You own shares in this company personally. I know your fund was an early investor in it before. When you think, though, about the value proposition long term, there are real questions about the long-term value, questions around dilution, for example. What do you think of those? What do you think of those issues?
Yeah, well, I think listen, dilution was definitely with stock compensation was definitely a big deal in the early stages when the company came public through direct listing. I think those questions and have dissipated since. I mean, look, this company has always been a very provocative company. And I would venture to say it's always been a misunderstood company over the years. I've been an investor since 2014. I continue to be an investor. And the reason what attracted me initially to Palantir is, their product, their technology, their software. You'd be hard pressed to find another company out there that could deliver the software they could deliver in the format they could deliver to. When they first came public, the big issue was, can they scale it? Is it just, this dark ops company that deals with government? Can they, can they scale this product and can they sell it, commercially? And I think they've answered all those questions. I think what Jim conflated was the investors that got behind Palantir and then the underlying company. You can't chastise the underlying company for the type of investors that get behind it, right?
Roger, we're going to have to run, but we have a chart up. I don't know if you can see it. This stock was trading at $40, if not almost $40 2 years ago. It's at $8 now. As an investment, what do you realistically think about this company? Call it, if we had this conversation 12, 24 months from today.
Well, my window has always been 5 years from the time they came public. And I think management has always guided with a 5-year plan. I think, they've averaged close to 30% growth year on year since they've come public. They've turned profitable in the time frame they said they were going to. So I think the value proposition long term is tremendous for Palantir. I think it's a software that's critical, that's solving the world's biggest problems. I think it's going to continue to be a software that's at the forefront to solve those problems in both.
I mean, the guy did a really good job talking about Palantir. I completely agree with everything he says, and I definitely think that he could have done a better job to highlight a couple of more key features and points. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous to say that Palantir is not a real company. You might not like it, you might not agree with its ethics, you might not like the management, but to say that Palantir is not a real company when they have billions of dollars in the banks and they have reoccurring revenue of hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, honestly, think about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to play you right now. And I want to give a shout out to Ross, man. This guy is the man. He's always supporting Palantir. He did so many interviews with Dr. Alex Karp. Shout out to him. He seems like a very friendly person to the Palantir cause. I want to play you a clip right now from Palantir Vision. He's the OG channel when it comes to Palantir. He has a 3-minute video, and it basically just clowns on Jim Cramer and how he is an unbelievable flip-flopper when it comes to stocks, specifically Palantir. I hope you guys enjoyed this clip. This is, again, from Palantir Vision's channel. I don't want to take anything away from him. He is the original producer of this video.
But I also think that Palantir is they're kind of fighting an uphill battle. Operating profit numbers, they look great if you believe they can hit those targets. They're still burning a lot of cash and issuing a lot of stock, but the margins are absolutely headed in the right direction. Right now, this stuff may not seem like it matters, but if Palantir starts screwing up, just remember the common shareholders can't do anything about it. You're just going to sell if it doesn't work. So how much should you be willing to pay for this thing? We've heard that the stock could start trading around $10, which would value the company at $22 billion from the get-go. At $10, the stock will be trading at 20 times sales or 16 times next year's numbers, assuming they come in at the low end of the forecast. That makes Palantir cheaper than recent deals, although it's also got much slower growth. I'm hesitant to give this one a full-throated endorsement because I hate the Class F shareholders thing, too much like feudalism, but right now the numbers do look good. If you can get Palantir for around $10 or ideally less on a pullback, you got my blessing to buy it. Just don't pay up too much for this one. There's too much mystery to it and too much selfishness too, at least when it comes to corporate governance. Palantir, when I read that they could sell down and have more votes, kind of a yunker state over there, I said, who? All right, a sucker's born every minute if you want that. But David, a lot of people don't even care about corporate governance. They're so used to A and B shares and, companies that just don't, where your vote means nothing, that people don't even think about it. I think you and I think about it because we don't think it's fair. These are things where people say, okay, it's a company, security, cloud. It's got all the right buzzwords. And then they look at it and they are going to say, look, that's an interesting stock. Price, it comes around 10. Of course, the actual dollar price, David, means absolutely nothing except for the Robinhood people. I think that's steadier business than you get from a CrowdStrike, Splunk. I mean, Palo Alto's got some. Palo Alto valued very richly, but nowhere near as richly as I think we're going to be talking about this one. It is the right niche, and I think people will sell some of the great cyber security and analytics companies like a Splunk that I had on last week to go buy Palantir. They're not going to look at that governance structure because it bores them. All right, then there's the much beloved Palantir, the surveillance and analytics company that did a big direct listing at the end of September. I told you it'd be worth buying below $10, and then the stock went to 9 and change on the first day, but that was still a pretty guarded recommendation. This thing became a meme stock like GameStop or AMC, jumping to 45 at its peak in January. Since then, it's pulled back to around $24. Though, what do you do with it? I think it's too much of a black box to get a real read on the business, so be careful. I feel a lot more confident if it pulls back below $20.
Palantir is a long-term play.
Long-term play, yes, because I think they do great technology. Unfortunately, we don't really know exactly what they're up to. They have a lot of contracts that we can't break into, but I do think that cybersecurity is good, and I think that Palantir is right.
My question is simple. Is now the time to double down on Palantir?
Well, I don't think this is the time to double down. I mean, it's at 23. I really like to double down when something has come down significantly. Now, I think it is a great software company. Unfortunately, a lot of it's black box. We're not sure they're doing. It's also been propped up because it is that's not a fair term, but it's a Cathie Wood stock, and that's ARK Investments, but it's good. But no, you don't double down until something's come down significant enough to change your basis. Palantir is a buy. They have special technology. I wish we knew all the contracts because it's involved with the government. A lot of it's black box, but they are a very good company, and I say you should buy Palantir.
And there you have it, boys and girls. Jim Cramer is an absolutely flip-flopping marketer. He is a clickbaiter, nothing more. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, you're definitely going to enjoy this video up here. Thank you so much. And I got a brand new Twitter page that's specifically for stocks. I have the link down below. Thank you and have a great day.